everybody. This is The Jeff Cowan coming to you from thejeffcowan.com. Welcome back to my podcast, Success in Professional Sales and Success in Life in General. I appreciate you watching, and I appreciate all of you who've been telling your friends about this podcast, because boy, our audience is really growing, and it's growing very, very fast. And continue to tell your friends. Tell them to go to thejeffcowan.com. Now, you may want to go there yourself because it's the holidays, and maybe you're looking for some gifts for some of your coworkers who are in professional sales, or maybe your boss, a business owner, you're looking for some gifts for your salespeople. thejeffcowan.com's got a whole line of books, videos, online training, and the like. If you just want to get something for yourself, you deserve it. Buy yourself a gift. Go to the Jeff Cowan and get it. Now, you're going to notice an uptick in my voice because I just got in off the road, and I love traveling this time of year in the United States because it's the holiday season, it's Christmas time, and man, when you travel, you see some really beautiful stuff, you know. I've been in all the major cities, all the small towns around the country over the last 30 years, and you just get to see the different traditions, the different decorations, some really big stuff, really cool stuff, but sometimes even the smallest things and their simplicity are just beautiful. If you never listen to anything else I tell you, please go see the United States of America anytime. I've been in all 50 states. They're all gorgeous, and especially this time of year with the decorations, it just adds that much more to it. But we got to focus on the task at hand. What I'm going to talk about today is something that I believe most salespeople do not realize, and what they do not realize is simply this. It's never been easier than selling any product than it is right now in the entire history of the profession of sales. Never been easier than it is right now. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Jeff, I get up and I go to work every day, man, and I get on the phone, I greet people, I talk to people, and I get told no all day long. I get objections all day long. What do you mean it's never been easier? Well, I'm telling you, it's never been easier to sell any product than it is right now. Okay? Now, let me explain to you what I'm talking about. Let's go back in history. You know, when I first started out in sales, if somebody wanted to buy a product or a service, what they'd have to do is physically get off their couch, get out of their house, get in their car, drive in the traffic, fight that traffic, and then look for your business. And depending on where your business was located, what it looked like, what was written on the sign, and maybe you had a sale, maybe you didn't have a sale, would largely determine whether or not they were going to give you a shot. And if they gave you a shot, you basically had 5 or 6 minutes to convince them, once they came in, 5 or 6 minutes to convince them that you had the product or service that was better than everybody else's, that could be delivered on time for a fair fee. All right? And here's where it got tough. If you didn't convince them why they were there, because see, back then the only way they could compare your product to a competitor's is they'd have to get back in their car, drive down the street, and go from business to business to business. I mean, shopping used to be extremely tiring. I mean, just to get a new set of clothes could take you all day long. To get a new set of furniture for the house could take 2 or 3 days. To buy a vehicle could certainly took days and sometimes weeks, because the only way that you could compare your product, to somebody else's, they'd physically have to go from store to store. Now, this was not only tough, but it became tougher because salespeople realized that, hey, I talked to this person, I didn't close them, they're leaving with my commission check. The chances of me seeing them again, chances of me ever seeing them again are slim to none. So it created a really high-pressure sales situation. There were some very unethical people out there that really used aggressive selling techniques. They pushed people, they hard-closed them, they twisted arms, they sold them stuff they didn't need, they charged them unfair prices, and that's really how the profession of sales got its bad reputation, or salespeople got their bad reputation, because they were desperate. Now, there were, and I want to be upfront with you because you're listening or you're watching one of them, I was very ethical because I understood if I followed the rules of selling and just did what a professional salesperson was supposed to do, that I could build a clientele that would send me references and recommend people come see me. And if you did it the right way, you could do it, but it was much harder back then. So what's different now? Okay, because it was so hard back then. Well, here's what's different now. And this all started right around 2006 with the advent of the smartphones, and the internet and websites really came to fruition. Here's what changed. They're already sold before they get to you. They're already sold. By the time you pick up the phone and start talking to them, they're already sold. When they call in, they're already sold. When they get on your website, they're already sold. When they walk in your front door, they're already sold. How can I say that? Think about it. If you're sitting in your office right now, or you go home tonight and you decide you want a new product or service before you ever leave your house, what are you going to do? You're going to research it. Where are you going to research it? Online. You're going to Google it. And here's where you're going to go to all the different websites. You're going to go to all the different blogs. You're going to read all the different product descriptions and like. And on average, you're going to be compared, your business, your product, you're going to be compared to 9 other places, yet they pick you. So by the time they get there, they're already sold. You see, like I said, they've already read the different articles. They've already read the blogs by the supposed experts. They've already seen presentations online. They've already seen what Yelp has written, what customers are saying about them. They've seen YouTube demonstrations. Okay, so by the time they get to you, they're practically already sold. So anymore, it's not a question of is the customer interested? They are. It's not a question of will your product benefit them? They believe it will. It's all about how well you, the salesperson, know your product, and more importantly, do you know it better than the consumer? Now, of course, even though they're already sold, the traditional aspects of selling still come into play. I mean, you're still going to have to greet your customer professionally because if you stay the course, that's always the best way to go. Always the best way to go. So you still have to professionally greet them. You still have to get to professionally interview them, if you will. You know, ask them questions about why they want the product, what they're going to do with it, who's going to use it, how's it going to be used, and the like. You're still going to have to reassure them that they're talking to the right person. You're still going to have to do an outstanding product demonstration. You're going to have to build rapport. You're going to have to learn how to ask for the money, handle the objections, follow through, set the expectation, manage the expectation, exceed the expectation, follow up, and the like. You still have to do all that stuff. Okay, you still have to do all that stuff. But again, when they come in, they're pretty much sold because they've already done their homework. All right. As a matter of fact, the biggest thing that customers are looking for when they walk in the door is, do you know as much as they know about the product? In the past, see, so here's what's different. In the past, when people had to get out of their house and go from place to place, it was your sell to lose because you got one shot at them, typically speaking, maybe two, but one shot. So it was your sell to lose. But today, I mean, it was your sell to win. It was your sell to win because they came in, you know, you had to prove to them you had everything. It was your sell to win. You had to win to sell. But today, they're already sold. It's your sell to lose. In the past, it was yours to win. Today, it's yours to lose. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you 4 tips on how to not lose the sale, knowing that it's never been easier and the customers are already sold. But before I give you those tips, I got to tell you about Lightspeed VT. Lightspeed VT is a company that's over in Las Vegas, Nevada, great state, great city. And what they have is a platform, business owners, managers, that you can take the training that you've bought and invested in over the years of all kinds, whether it's audio, whether it's video, to make a difference what the format is. They've got a platform. They'll show you how to put that on this platform. Now, they're going to take this platform and put your logos all over it, so when you hire new employees or your employees log on from any device that has Wi-Fi capabilities, meaning they can watch it any time of the day, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When they get on there, here's what Lightspeed's going to help you do. It's going to look like it's all your stuff, all right, because they have all your logos on it. Then they're going to show you how to take what you have and divide it into little 5 and 10 minute segments so it's easier for your students to watch. And then here's the icing on the cake. They're going to show you how to create a testing mechanism. So now when your employees watch it, it's no longer did you watch and understand it, and they all say yes. Now they watch it, they test on it, and you can see by their test scores either they understood it or they didn't. You'll see strengths and weaknesses. I'm telling you, it's the most powerful training tool you'll ever see. But you say, I don't have any training. Well, that's easy. They do business with all of the major trainers around the world. I mean, they've got niche trainers that are industry specific, but if you name a motivator, a leadership trainer, management trainer, sales trainer, they've got them all. All the big dogs are on there. My training's on there, and you can get yours on there too. How do you get a hold of them? You just dial 702-369-4260. 702-369-4260. Tell them the Jeff Cowan at thejeffcowan.com told you to call, and they are going to save you money because they're going to give you a discount. Now, if you're not a business owner, you're not a manager, you're an end user, if you will, you're somebody that's trying to just be better at what you do, call them anyway and tell them you're looking for training. They will set you up, and they have student fees. But back to this. All right, so as I established when we first started, it's never been easier to sell any product than it is right now. And the reason I say that is because in the past, like when I started in sales, and prior to 2006 certainly, but when I started sales years ago, customers had to get out of their house, they'd have to go shop, go business to business, which sometimes took day or days to find a product because they had to comparatively shop. So when they came into your place, you really had to win the sale. You had to prove to them that you had what they needed at a fair price and could deliver it. But today, because of the internet and people's ability to research and Google and watch product demonstrations and YouTube demonstrations and read Yelp reviews and all that stuff, by the time they get to you, they're pretty much already sold. So now it's not about winning the sale, it's about not losing the sale, because today the sale is yours to lose. So let's take a look at some things you can do to not lose the sale. Number 1, you must know your product at least as well as the customer does. Now this means you'll not only need to study your product through what your training your company provides, you're going to have to do your own research. Okay, you're going to have to get online and see what they're reading. You're going to have to get online and view what they're viewing. So when they come in, you can prove to them that you know as much about the product or more than they do. Now this is critical, and here's why this is critical, because think about it. After you research a product, okay, and then you go into place, isn't that what you're really seeing? Does this person know as much about as I do? Because if they don't mention something or they appear that they don't know as much as you think, what do? You leave. So you're a salesperson now. You have to prove to these customers that you know at least as much as they do about the product or more. So you have to see what they're seeing online. You're going to have to know your competition's product as well. So what is it that they're seeing that you're seeing, so you can prove that you know what they know, so when they ask the questions, you got the answers and you can point out things to them. Number two, you must be willing to point out misinformation that the customer may have or may not have obtained through the internet. Now, we've all seen customers come in and they think they know more about the product than you do, and the information they have is wrong. Now, the biggest mistake that I see people make is they argue with your customers. The customers will say something, oh, that's not right, that's all wrong, here's what it is. Well, trying to convince someone that what they read online is wrong is the wrong way to go. Or if you just start arguing, because here's a basic selling fundamental. If you argue with your customers, you will not get the sale. So you don't want to argue. So instead, you want to research and find word tracks. Word tracks might be something like this. Mr. Customer, many customers read that online, and I think probably where you saw that was here, 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 because all those sites talk about that. Although those sites have some good information, there are a few things that they don't have all the information on, or a little bit of incorrect information, because they're not using the product like we are, because the experts who actually built the product that we deal with every day, that talk to customers like you who actually invested in the product and use it, here's what we found to be the fact. There's all kinds of ways you can do that. Number three, your ability to present your product must be letter perfect, or at the very least, better than any product demonstration they saw online. So again, this goes back to number one. You have to see what they're watching. Because a lot of times these product demonstrations online are done by people who have no presentation skills, or they're done just goofy. So you have to be a master presenter and figure out how to present your product with such passion and enthusiasm, not over the top, but with a lot of passion and enthusiasm, and show them that this product, you're so in love with it, you eat, breathe, sleep it, talk it all day long. Nobody knows it better than you, and nobody's more convinced than you are that this is going to be the best thing for them. Now, I got to tell you this, just a side note. That's where I've made a lot of money in selling. I've always been, I believe, not bragging, not trying to be pretentious, but I've always believed I have been a master presenter. I know how to get people excited about products. You'll have to learn that too. Now let's go to number four. Although today's customer is easier to close, and it's all but closed when they walk through your door, you'll still need to be a master closer. Okay, just because they pretty much already bought in their mind, they know they're going to get it, you're still going to have to learn closes. You're still going to have to learn how to handle objections. All right, now it's just like I said earlier. All the rules of sales still have to apply. You still have to greet them, build rapport, all that stuff, but you have to be a master closer. And this is a big problem, and here's why I'm talking about it. I've discovered that the average salesperson out there today only knows 3 or 4 closes. Now, why is that a problem? Well, it's a problem because the average customer typically doesn't say yes until the 4th, 5th, or 6th time. So if you only know 3 or 4 closes and it takes 5, and they're going to object 5 times, where does that leave you? Either losing the sale or heavily discounting. Neither one you want to do. I think Zig Ziglar said it best, in his book. He said, 100 Secrets to Closing the Sale, that before you ever step in front of a customer with your commission on the line, you need to know 100 different ways to ask for the money. Tom Hopkins, who wrote the biggest and best all-time selling book on the topic of sales, called How to Master the Art of Selling Anything, says you need to know at least 50 ways to ask for the money. And then once you get those down, add another one in every 2 or 3 days until you have a few hundred ways to ask for the money and handle the objections. Why? Because the more closes you know, the more personalities you're going to be able to connect with, and the more sales you're going to make. It's that simple. So you're going to have to still be a professional salesperson, because many times these people come in, they're prepared to buy, and you'll do everything you can. When it comes time to say yes, and you ask, before they give you the money, they give you the credit card or sign off on it, they're going to say no because they've been trained to say no. Now you say, wait a minute, what do you mean they've been trained to say no? This is easy. Most people will say no because it's what we're taught will get rid of the salesperson. Here's what I'm talking about. Go to the mall. When you're in the mall shopping for this Christmas, go sit outside of any clothing store and count how many times this happens. Customer walks in the store, clerk says, can I help you find something? Customer then says, oh no, I'm just looking, but can you tell me, do you have blue jeans? So are you just looking, or are you looking for blue jeans? So we've all been trained to say no, and we typically will say no 3 or 4 times before we say yes. So again, all the basics, selling fundamentals are still going to apply. You're still going to have to do every step, and if you do every step in the long run, you will win because it's never been easier to sell than it is right now. So as I've stated at the beginning of this message, it's never been easier to sell any product than it is right now. Repeating myself, this only proves true if you understand today's customers and they've researched you just like you research people before you go in. They come in smart, well-informed, and more importantly, ready to buy. So as long as you keep one step ahead of the learning curve, you'll have the potential to be more successful than you've ever been. It used to be the name of the game was to win the sale. Today, it's simply a game of not losing the sale. Dating myself here like Bob Dylan in his song says, the times, they are changing. And here's what I got to say to that. Lucky you, because it's never been easier to sell than it is right now. And I can't make that any clearer. So if you're just getting into professional sales or you're in it, you adjust your mindset, you're thinking about getting professional sales, you couldn't have picked a better time because it's never been easier. Hey, my name's Jeff Cowan. I thank you for watching this podcast. It's called Success in Professional Sales and Success in Life in General. Keep coming back every Tuesday at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific time. On Thursday, I've got another one for people at Right Service. It's called Right Service, Write Your Own Paycheck. It plays every Thursday in these same places at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific time. You can also get video recordings of this. If you want to see it on video, you just go to thejeffcowan.com, sign up for them right there. But between now and next week, because I got to get going here, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to make it the best week you're ever going to have because that's what I'm going to do. And I want you to enjoy the holidays, man. It's the holidays. Enjoy your family, enjoy your coworkers, enjoy life. All right? It's the time of year of giving and reflecting. I recommend you do them all, and I'm rattling on here again. So with that, I'm just going to sign off and say, see you next week. Take care.